Starting. Okay. Hello, YouTube.
Hi everyone, how's it going? Feeling good, feeling fine, feeling great.
Mhm. Okay, if everyone will just hang on, we're just waiting for CJ to show up and we'll start this.
Wow, Less the Looking Glass did not make any money. Wow.
That's kind of a surprise.
I know. Usually Disney stuff, even if it's a weird sequel that you didn't think should be made, still makes pretty good money.
Yeah, my movie's not till next week, so.
You got Angry Birds kicking right now,
Oh.
don't you? Isn't that
Oh, yeah.
yours?
Wow. Didn't realize it came in that much. Holy crap.
Yeah, it's doing alright. Considering it's an Angry Birds movie.
I'm just trying to pad my lead until all the big movies come out.
Sure. Wow, you do have a commanding lead. Congratulations. Not quite double. So the mana pool comes back next week, right?
Correct. With two new players. My
Ooh, I
buddy
thought
Felix.
Alex dropped out.
Yeah, Alex and her boyfriend. So I've got one of my friends joining us, and CJ has one of his friends. So,
Oh, okay. So her boyfriend dropped out too.
mhm.
I see.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting because throwing two new players into a campaign that we've been playing. What is it? A couple months already?
More than that, I think. I'm not sure when the first one was.
What's the campaign you're playing?
Princes of the Apocalypse. D&D.
Yep.
It's yeah, first time playing D&D, and it's in a live podcast. So
Oh, sweet.
it's very interesting.
One's ready. Oh, that's what it is.
All right, CJ should be sliding down the highway right now. Are there any big movies you're looking forward to, Jason?
Me, movies. I'm excited about the Independence Day reboot or whatever it's going to be. Sequel, I guess.
Sequel. It is the sequel.
Yep.
What else we got coming up?
I feel like there's a ton coming out that should be interesting.
Curious to see what the new Star Trek is like. I really enjoyed the first two.
I enjoyed the first one. I was not a fan of what they did in the second one, but I'm excited about that, of course. Rogue One is going to be great.
Oh yeah. I'm definitely ready for that one.
Yeah.
It's probably what I'm most excited about.
Oh, he's at his computer. He's rebooting.
Always good to do a fresh reboot before the show.
Yep. Yeah, me doing all this in preparation is really taking a lot off CJ.
Who show?
How long have the three of you been doing this kind of thing together?
Oof. 2, 3. Damn, can't
Let's
remember.
see. CJ started this 3, 4-ish. Yeah, almost 4 years ago, probably. Then I came on 3.5 years ago. And Raul joined in last year.
Yeah, but I had always been like,
Yeah, you were always around. You were our recurring guest.
yeah,
And now you're training to be a producer,
yep.
which
Which
is nice.
Jared, did I meet you up at PAX? Were you at PAX East with CJ?
I was not.
Okay. Your name looks familiar and your face looks a bit familiar.
I don't know. Your face looks familiar too, but
And we've seen each other out in some group.
maybe. I think you just look like Tony Stark, but.
Oh, love it.
Which
will
part of the
accept
country
that.
are you in, Jason?
What's that?
Which part of the country are you in?
Oh, I'm Central Connecticut,
Oh, okay.
CT.
just southwest of Hartford. Are you guys far away? You're not far, right?
Yeah, I'm Southwest Texas.
Oh, jeez. Where does CJ live then?
Tampa, Florida.
Oh, I didn't realize he traveled that far. I thought he was in the New England area.
Yep. And I'm in Mobile, Alabama area.
Oh, wow. All over the place.
Yeah, and we have one guy who's
Across
not
the
coming
globe.
on that lives in Australia. So
Oh, jeez.
We handle a lot of Four Corners, just to be sure.
Good.
then we have Daryl that's in the UK. We just need someone from California or Seattle, right?
Used to have a Seattle person.
We do not speak of that.
We're live on YouTube. I shouldn't say anything else.
So I guess I'm not doing any of the audio stuff. I'm just doing the recording stuff and setting up the Hangouts. And I had everything all set. But yeah, doing the trying to be one of the producers is like I might need to get a third monitor just so I can have all the show stuff on one side, notes on the other, and then the actual screen right in front of me.
Oh, jeez. Yep.
CJ's computer Steam powered?
What's that?
Is CJ's computer Steam
Oh,
powered?
yeah.
I don't know.
The
I
reboot.
didn't think it took him as long to reboot anymore once he got the solid state.
Well, if it's still Windows, it's still Windows.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
well,
only been 4 minutes, so
yeah, well, Windows 10 is a little bit better.
Yeah, Windows 10 with my solid state takes about 60 seconds to reboot.
Wow.
Yeah, its resource management is a whole lot better than Windows 7 was.
I don't know, my Windows 7 on solid state would reboot in like 45 seconds, so just saying.
It's still better than Windows 8.
Yeah, the Hangup's that login thing that it does, since it has to be online and sync with your Microsoft account. That seems to be the hanging point now.
Oh well, you know you can disable that, right?
I could, but it's set up now and it's fine. It's 15. It's 10 seconds. I don't mind.
Oh.
I can live with it.
Oh yeah, you've got to have a password on your computer, right?
Yeah, you're required.
Oh.
Well, not on my personal, but
Yeah, on my personal, it just goes straight to desktop.
yeah, mine auto logs in. Don't tell anybody. Oh wait, we're live on YouTube. Nobody come into my house and use my computer. But you have to get to my house first, so.
I'm more worried about your kids trying to get on your computer.
It's not a problem yet. They're still a little too young to. They can't, spell anything, so. In a year or two, I might have to start worrying.
Yeah, but it's gonna have to be a little bit more complicated than just cat or dog.
Some credit. Besides, I don't think the Microsoft accounts allow passwords that simple.
Holy crap! I'm checking the radar for my area, and it's like, wow, the whole state of Texas is like lit up right now.
In terms of watchers?
Rain, rain.
Oh, Ray.
Yeah, we've been getting some heavy rains here past couple of days.
Yeah, you're in Texas, right? You're getting Alta storms right now.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because normally we get all the storms. And it's been pretty mild here so far. All this and more on Weather.io.
Yes. Weather Geek IO, bringing you the local weather in random places.
In Texas and Florida. There's
There we go.
CJ.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, CJ.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Okay. We're good to go on to Alpha Geek, CJ. Okay. Let me find the tab.
I've
Geek
got the,
IO.
I'm working on the notes, CJ. I've got the How It Stacks Live thing and Life of an Accounting Droid's very eclectic episode. Is there anything else that happened this week?
No, I have to re-upload the 20 or S4 thing because it stopped uploading for some reason.
Oh, that still hasn't posted, huh?
No, it has not, and I'm blaming my internet.
That's fine. I thought it had. I
No, it
didn't
has
even
not
know
yet.
it hadn't.
Um,
I pay attention.
the SmackDown.
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
I
And
synced it
you want
and
me to
added it
back
to the
up, right,
notes.
CJ?
Yeah.
For the
Spoiler
recording.
alert, Raul is winning by a lot.
Got my shock absorber. Finally, very nice.
Okay, I'm gonna check levels in Audacity real quick, so you might hear yourself, CJ.
Got my shock absorber. Finally, very nice. Shock mount's the word I was looking for, not absorber. Blah
Shock
blah
mounts.
blah. Test test test. Mine test 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 test.
You guys have all these elaborate get-ups over there. And technologies.
Mine's not too complicated. Roll's got his green screen.
I have a Marvel comic book hung up on my wall.
Is that our logo on your TV screen?
Yes, it is, in fact.
Huh. How'd you do that?
Chromecast.
Oh, gotcha. And laundry.
And then hitting my entire... in an earthquake, apparently.
CJ's forehead. It's been a long time.
Long time no see from the forehead. There, now you can't see my laundry. My microphone fell.
You still looking for a stand there, CJ?
No, I got my stand.
Oh, okay.
I'm working with a new shock mount, and I didn't tighten it up enough. So when I hit everything, it just went. It went super limp. Like I'm talking me at furry conventions. By the way, that's the tone for the evening, there, sir.
I guess at 10 p.m. the show's a little different than the last show I was on, which was for Engaged Family Gaming.
Yeah, definitely not so much. You are free to talk how you wish.
All right.
We have the bumper. It warns everyone.
So you be playing all audio, right, CJ?
Yeah, I got it. As soon as
Okay.
I think my mouse is dying, like flat out just dying.
Again? Did you just buy
No,
batteries? for it?
like I'm thinking it's like end of life.
Oh.
Because I have brand new batteries in there and it's still acting stupid.
Hmm.
This no bueno.
Yeah. Might have to hold off on buying Overwatch this weekend to get a new mouse.
I know that'll be hard for you.
It will be. Why is VLC not popping up?
Why is what not popping up?
VLC.
I don't know. You still have your small screen spoiler show logo on your screen. BTW.
If that's the worst that happens, I'm good with that.
That's fine. I'm just letting you know before we get started.
Should I be adding something to mine so that it pops up my name or something?
You're listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows
Glad you're
and
playing
more,
and my
visit
screen is still
geek-.
not showing you.
Hangouts has one built in. Ours are all through XSplit, I think.
Yeah.
Hangouts used to have one built in if you want to.
Yeah, it's under
It's called lower
Hangouts
third.
toolbar.
Toolbox, that's right. Hangout Toolbox.
Do you want me to hit that?
Has lower third controls if you want to, if you want one.
Well,
Alright, seriously, VLC does not exist on my computer. Like, it's on, it's up, it's a process, it's just not appearing anywhere.
That's weird.
Like, at all.
choose a logo for myself.
Yeah. Yeah, the logo, I mean, it can be anything. I mean, you don't have to upload a custom image. I mean,
Oh, I'll be uploading a custom image.
Don't you worry.
Custom overlay. I don't think I need to do that. So, did it apply anything?
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. And to help support the network, head over to
It literally doesn't exist.
patreon.com.
F it.
How about our other recruit?
What? Shut up. I don't know what that was.
oh. Are you arguing with yourself, CJ?
That was the Captain America Rant Review intro. That's like 3 weeks ago, man.
I know. Apparently it was still on my playlist.
You're Captain America.
You know what?
Oh. Hello, you
No, I
too.
mean,
You're
I-
great.
All right, so we go. Okay. See if I can do this. I'd say normally I'm more prepared, but well, that's a lie. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this. Is everybody ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Set.
All right.
I was born ready.
Hold on 1 second. Making me fill out my birthday.
What I'd say about that? Fuckers.
Okay.
That is still my favorite clip that we have accrued. Hey Jazz, you want to know a scary thing?
What's a
This
scary
November
thing?
I'll be doing this for 5 years now, and that means
5
as of
years.
December you will have been doing this for 5 years.
Well, we were actually talking about that earlier. We were trying to figure out how long it had been. I thought it was 4.
5 years.
Oh,
No, we started
crap.
2011. It is 2016.
Woo! I think we'd be better at this by now.
Yeah, right?
That far, or yeah, I was on the first show
He was.
when it was on Tadpole.
His
Seven
screen
odd.
name had tech in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in the Tadpool tech days, if your chat handle had tech in the name, you were a guest.
You're not wrong.
Hey, Jazz Tech was on episode 3? I don't remember.
Something like that.
Somewhere in there.
All right, tell me I have to load a freaking Windows Media Player. Will that appear? This VLC is sucking the suck? Yes, apparently that'll work.
Sure.
That is not at all what I wanted you to play. Stop it. Stop. What are you doing? Stop it. Reason why I don't use Windows Media Player. Really? You're not gonna let me do that?
You are listening to a podcast.
Shut up, me.
What are you having trouble with there, CJ?
I'm just waiting for Jason.
No, I'm good now.
Oh, okay.
Communication.
I filled out all the stuff in the toolbox, but it doesn't seem to have put my information in, so I probably have to restart or something, which isn't worth it.
Yeah. I think Windows thinks I have a third monitor. I think that's what's happening right now. All right, go again. 5, 4, 3.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.net. To help support the network, head over to patreon.com/geekio. You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and more, visit geek-io.
Hello, gentle listener. While Geek.io holds its talent to the highest standards, what follows will likely involve the sort of language usually reserved for sailors on leave. If you're a delicate disposition, then perhaps you would consider a different podcast.
You are listening to a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network. For all of our shows and
screw it.
more,
Evan.
visit Geek.
Hi, everybody. This is Geek.io show.
Add that in post.
I have no
alright.
idea what's going on. Why nothing on my computer is working, but yes. Oh, okay.
Is that
So
what
this is
happened?
the Geek. Your dose of weekly. God.
And the poster fell off your back wall.
Oh no.
What is happening? Does Raul have the bumpers? Can he play them?
It does feel so naked without the intro.
I know, it's throwing me off completely.
Me too, apparently. That one?
You're
That
muted,
one.
Raul.
Yes, I just found that out. Do you want me-
Mobile audio stream enabled at tunein.alphageekradio.com. Chat room enabled at geek-io.net/live. Geek.io initialized.
We're geeking out across the globe, so tuck in and hold on to your butts. It's time for the Geek I.O. Show.
Geek.io, put geek in and geek out.
Hi, everybody. Hey, now I can maybe try and do the intro. Hello, gentle listeners. This is the Geek.io Show, your weekly dose of geeky goodness, episode number 155, recorded Thursday, the 2nd of June, 2016. I am your host, CJ. I can't do anything without my soundboard boat.
I'm Jared. It went super lit as Vito.
And I'm Raul. I'm just trying to keep things from falling apart.
And joining us this week, the Grand Poobah, the amazing wizard, the fantastically bearded and great-haired master of all things Geek Fever Games and creator of Mars vs. Earth, even if he's not very good at it.
Whoa!
I don't know how to pronounce your last name.
That's all right. Miceli, Jason Miceli. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me on.
Hello.
How you doing, sir?
Jason, is it Miceli or Miceli?
Well, it depends on which continent you're on.
Okay. Miceli. I like Miceli. It's good.
That's right.
And he is a well-groomed man. Look at him.
Yes. Fantastic hair, fantastic beard.
Yeah, I didn't do that for you guys. Sorry. I had an interview earlier today.
It's like Tony Stark up in here.
Right? We have our own personal Tony Stark. Congratulations.
Congratulations to us.
Indeed. We have Tony Stark finally on the show. Yay! It's only taken us 5 years.
Wish I had Iron Man here to prove, but I don't.
So, how are you tonight, sir?
Doing great. I will. I'll get you back for that comment about not being good at my own game. By the way, I did hear that under the breath remark.
Well, let's see. We went twice, and you lost both games.
Well, the team that perhaps I was on lost both games. That may be true.
Yes, that is exactly true.
You can only be as strong as your weakest link, and I had some pretty weak links apparently at PAX East.
Yes. By the way, yeah, I met Jason at PAX East when I was working for Greater Than Games. Thanks to those guys, Christopher out there, for bringing me out there and having me work and having me teach people the deck building game. Which happened to be literally right across the walkway from where Jason was demoing his game, and I'm like, I don't feel like going over to the Sentinels games yet, and like I have 3 hours to blow. This game looks fun. And then I realized like a couple hours later, I'm like, oh crap, my shift starts in like 5 minutes.
I gotta duck out. Hold my spot.
And then later I'm walking by him randomly, teasing him the entire time.
Yeah, CJ, I know how addicting those the tabletop games can be. Dragon Con, we sat there for a good couple hours.
Oh yeah, speaking of Dragon Con, Jason, are you going to be at Dragon Con?
No, where is that one?
Atlanta. You should be at Dragon Con.
I would love to. Right now, we are limiting ourselves to those in driving distance of Connecticut. So the luxury that we have is we're access, to New York, to Boston. There's some good ones in Philly we can hit. We're trying to be frugal at the moment.
That's fair.
So
That's fair.
no PAX South.
So everybody, what I'm getting to is everybody should go to geekfevergames.com and buy all of the games. Is what I'm getting at here.
So that he can come to Dragon Con
Correct. Absolutely.
As soon as I get done with going to Origins. Well, speaking of that, Origins is within driving distance. Come on, you can do it. Columbus.
Yes. I have driven approximately there. It's about a 14-hour drive.
Come on, it's fine.
We have.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, sir.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have plenty of activity in the area though. So we're at a con in New Jersey called the Warren County Sci-Fi Convention. So there's different ones like that all over the place. So benefit from that, but yeah, no. So thanks for again for having us on. Thrilled to be where we're at. We were at PAX with a good partner of ours. We work closely with the Game Crafter, so they invited us to join them as their featured designer. So we were able to get in and exhibit for 3 days, very inexpensively. And Geek Fever in general, I just couldn't be more thrilled with where we've come to at this point. Between myself and my two partners, Matt and Tim, and just 4 or 5 years after finally deciding we can do something, and very, very happy to kind of be where we are and be on shows like yours and be at conventions like PAX and showing off games that we publish that have our names on boxes. It's just really rewarding. So great.
Is that very common for other indie developers to help you of tabletop games? Like, is it a very helpful community?
Well, I in general, you're asking the indie gaming game design community. I find to be very open. It's that double-edged sword. We're all, I think, the many that I've met anyway. We are all very aware that we need help and that we can help each other. But we're also heavily in competition with everyone. There's just so many new games that hit the market every day. I think Kickstarter, there's like 25 new board games on Kickstarter every single day. So it's insane when you do that math. But at the same time, I've found a tremendous support from the general community, and I like giving back to the community and sharing what I can as well.
Great, great.
Yeah, we're gonna get more into like details on doing some Q&A in the second half of the show, if that's all right with you. You want to hang out with us while we talk about ourselves, mainly because I want to talk about some of the stuff that you've been working on or playing with. So we avoid any further ado. Let me see if, by the way, I found out what was wrong with it. Yeah, Windows for some reason seems to be having three screens, and I only have 2. So I don't know why.
Maybe just likes your third screen. It really wants you to have a third screen.
It really does. I could use one like right over here. That'd be great. All right, let's see if I can do this because we don't know. It's been a while since I've done this. Do the segment bumpers, and
Gadgets, games, and gizmos.
And I played the right one.
It has the pew-pews and everything.
Yeah.
Look at you.
We think I've done this or something. So this is Gadgets, Games, and Gizmos, where we talk about the gadgets, games, and gizmos that we have been playing with, watching, doing, poking at for the last indiscriminate amount of time. And typically our guest does go first. So Jason, what have you been playing with?
So I stumbled upon a Facebook buy, sell, and trade board games group not too long ago, and I have become the biggest whore of that group. I have probably traded there's been over a dozen shipments in the last month. And so I've recently acquired a lot of new games, which I'm thrilled about. The 2 in particular that have consumed our last couple weeks are Black Fleet, a little pirate game, and I've managed to, as part of the trade, get hand-painted figs from this guy. So he was a pro painter. That was a blast. It's just a really simple pirate game. There's no dice, not a lot of fiddy rolls, just really straightforward, but some neat strategy. And a lot of fun, very visual. I like the 3D models, metal coins. I'm a big fan of production quality in games like Zaya. If you've seen that one's like off the charts in terms of production quality. They have their expansion on Kickstarter right now. Love that game. So Blackfleet, and the other one is, and CJ, you mentioned Greater Than Games, Sentinel Tactics. I also acquired in that same trade, and that's a really neat tactical game that kind of spun off, I think, from their card game. Very well known, Sentinels and Multiverse.
Yeah, it did. And that is genuinely one of my favorite games to play. If I could ever get a group that could sit down and work with it, because that's not one where you have to actually have a group, which is kind of good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, how have you? Is it just the base game that you picked up? So just the one with the 2 missions in it?
So I got in the trade. I got the base game plus the miniatures for the base game, which again he hand painted. And I guess he lives in town with Greater Than Games, so he's like hooked in with them somehow.
Okay.
And then the Uprising expansion was also with it. So I got quite a bit. Yep. And we
need to let me know what Facebook group this is.
The buy sell trade board game buy sell trade board games. I think that's what it's called. Or board gaming buy sell trade.
And now CJ will be distracted for the rest of the show.
No, it's great because you know, like eBay, you know, the effort it goes through, and then Craigslist, you're limited with geography. Here, it's the entire population of people who want board games and have board games to trade or sell. So it's just it's instant. Like you post, like I have a copy of Space Cadets. I'm not very interested in it. You post it, and within minutes you're gonna have a bunch of people saying, "Great, I have this for trade or that for trade or what do you want for it?" And just really casual, really easy. It's been awesome.
Found a video games one. That's not helping me any. Like that page, however.
It might help. I don't know.
But yeah, Sentinel Tactics, breath of fresh air, you know, in terms of a tactical game, but not so incredibly complex like BattleTech. And actually, we pulled out our old BattleTech boards because you can play skirmish missions of Sentinels on the BattleTech boards very easily. Nice. Very, very cool, very visual again with all the figs and everything. We played through the first campaign, which you're beating up Baron Blade, but unlike the card game, a human player is now playing the villain, which is really refreshing. So it's the biggest gripe we have with the card game is that it's this automatic villain, which is actually cumbersome to manage. I'd love it if they would release human playable villains for the card game. That would be great.
I mean, you can if you have to house rule it a little bit, but I will occasionally, especially if I have a big group of people playing with me on the card game, I'll typically be like, all right, so because with Vengeance, Sentinel's Vengeance, and the base set, it basically reprinted all of the old villains.
Right.
The first 6, so you can double up on their decks and play them like that, and you have a villain person there. But yeah, it's still house rules, and it's still a pain in the ass to do that. But yeah, I love playing the villain in tactics because, well, it lets me let out my my inner bad guy, which is also the reason why I like doing dungeon mastering, because then I can just be a giant jerk to everybody.
Yeah, you can.
We found, kind of by surprise, or it surprised us, playing through, we're like, okay, great, this is a really good, you know, kind of accessible tactics game. And then we got to the second campaign, and it said, hey, if Baron Blade won the first campaign, then he gets access to all 4 of these turret types in this campaign. We're like, whoa! It has this continuing aspect to it. And then we're like, wait a minute. It kept reading on. It's like, holy cow, this scenario doesn't even have win or lose. It's just however many turrets he's able to set up in the center of the board carry over to the next campaign.
Then it goes to scenario 3, and then that's it gets progressive.
Awesome. Yeah, it's very awesome.
The Omnitron one does similar to that too. Like the first one, you can beat him, and the second one, there's no win or loss condition. Like as soon as you beat him, that's fine. But he could set up between 1 and 8 mini Omnitrons, and then that scales the difficulty accordingly.
Yep. I just played as Omnitron in the first of that campaign scenarios. Probably 2 nights ago we did that. Great.
That was so fun.
Yeah. No, so those are the games of recent, and like I said, Zaya is another deep love that I have recently discovered. That game is just beautiful. It's exquisite. 3D painted figs, these molded die-cast metal coins, and just really good as current space bucks, and really beautiful game.
Nice.
That's what I've been doing lately.
All right. Well, we play a little game, and we get to play roulette. You get to pick out who you want to go next, other than Raul, who keeps going. Okay.
Jared.
Me. my life is boring because my life is Stardew Valley and only Stardew Valley, and that's all I ever do is play Stardew Valley.
Still a little weird that you're playing a new game.
I know.
Tell me about it.
Well, I talked about it at length in the last show, but I'll touch on it again here. But it's an indie game developed by this guy who calls himself Concerned Ape. It's basically a Harvest Moon style game, but apparently better because I tried Harvest Moon back in the day and didn't get into it. But this one, man, I've put 33 hours into it so far.
Wow, that is impressive for you, man.
But I've watched no shows. I've watched no movies. I go to work, I play with my kids, and then they go to bed, and then it's Stardew Valley time. It's Daddy's Stardew Valley time. So I don't know. It's just like the Zen thing for me, man. It makes my brain just relax when I play that game. So yeah, almost got my first year under my belt, and they're trying to survive the winter season right now. Can't grow any crops, so you gotta kind of work it in a different way, you know.
So, Jazz, do you think you could run your own farm now?
I could, but that sounds like way too much manual labor, so I think I'll pass.
You don't feel like going into the mines and...
Well, the mine, that'd be fun.
You never answered my question. Is that when the zombies come?
When the zombies come?
Yeah, it is winter when the zombies come?
In the winter? Oh, you're making a Game of Thrones reference, right? Winter's coming?
I'm making a general survival game.
Oh, no, there's no zombies. I mean, you can go into the mines.
You bored me.
There's some monsters in there. There's slime monsters and these weird shadow monster things.
When you hit them, do they go weak at least?
In the what?
Do they go weak when you hit them at least?
Bleak?
Yeah.
They make kind of a splat noise. Does that count?
Yeah.
I think we're losing CJ.
This game sounds like work.
Fire bats. I mean, it basically is work, but for some reason I'm
out. I'm done. Out. You just went full bloodlong. Never go full bloodlong.
You're running a farm, or exploring.
The reason why I
mines,
don't play Harvest Moon or Animal Crossing or any of those damn games either.
I know, but I love those kind of games. I don't know why.
Did you love Star Wars Galaxies way back when?
Oh, jeez.
God, yes.
See, Star Wars Galaxies came out when I was in college. Man, was I a master droid builder.
Yeah, that game felt like work.
Yes.
It was work.
I played Final Fantasy XI for many years, and that game is work as well. Because it literally takes 6 months to farm a piece of equipment.
Holy crap.
By the way,
Star Wars Galaxies wasn't that bad.
Why, I call certain games work and I won't play them because of Final Fantasy XI. Because I spent so much time doing any given thing that now if I don't get a reward within about 37 seconds, I'm done.
But yeah, let's see, Star Wars Galaxies, I put a ton of time into that. Mostly just building droids because I wanted to be a droid builder because, that's way more fun than going out and hiding stuff.
I think I was trying to build speeders, and I got bored after the first day or two.
I had a house.
This is not for me.
I had all these resources that I had built up and stuff in my house, and you had to go in daily and put money on your house or it would disappear. And then I had to quit for 2 weeks because it was finals week, so I didn't get to play for a couple weeks and came back and my house was gone and all the stuff in it was gone, and I was pretty much F this game. That's the end of it.
Moving on.
It was
I think I'm done.
The what was it called, CJ? The garrisons in
yes, garrisons in World of Warcraft. Seriously,
that was work. Yeah,
that was work.
I mean, if there was a mobile app, maybe.
But yeah, the rest of it is just straight up work. Yeah, it was not fun.
Star Wars Galaxies was kind of fun. I mean, I did some, battle stuff. Do some PvP and get a group together and go fight something. That was fun.
City of Heroes. Did you play that one? That was the MMO
No,
I got.
I had friends that did, but I never got into that one.
So much City of Heroes.
Yeah, that one was good. That one held interest for years.
Yeah, that one, and it recently closed down, right?
recently, quote unquote.
Like, 3 or 4 years ago.
Really? That long ago now? Huh.
Yeah, City of
That was
Maybe it was
Sony,
longer.
right? That was Sony that shut that down, right?
No, it was ArenaNet. Same people
Oh.
that made
Right.
2012, December 2012.
Wow, it feels like I just heard about that 6 months ago. Jeez.
Yeah, I know. See, my daughter was born. My daughter was born in 2012, and like everything between then and now is just kind of this weird blur that I can't quite keep track of. I remember that happened. Wasn't that like last month? Like, no, that was 3 years ago. Oh, okay. I believe you.
I can attest to the blur because I remember 2012. The biggest thing that happened was I got a new job and I'm still there. So it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
You haven't even gotten kids yet. You don't even understand Blur until kids come into play.
Well, it's
It's a
like
whole new world.
one day you're holding them and the next day you're sending them off to preschool.
Like, no, you're not wrong. Like, I went to my son's preschool graduation is tomorrow, and I'm like, wait, holy crap! I was just literally changing his diapers like yesterday.
I swear.
I don't understand what's going on.
So yeah, kids, 4-year-old and 2-year-old.
Dial.
But Bella's really into the PBS games, so maybe she'll.
Yeah, too.
So maybe someday I can drag her into the games that don't make me want to bang my head against the desk.
Yeah, you can bridge. Like, I mean, I'm bridging currently with like Disney Infinity is a good bridge because it's not violent really, and also the Lego games. The Lego game.
Yeah, I got her to play Marvel Legos a little bit, but she got bored with that one.
Maybe the Harry Potter Lego game.
Yeah, she loves to watch me play the Plants vs Zombies.
That's a good one.
Yeah. That's the big thing with it.
And she'll watch me play Stardew Valley for like 10, 20 minutes before she gets bored with that. It's like, can we play something else? No, Daddy's busy right now.
Kiara is definitely like my board gamer because she's learning how to read and she wants to read all of the things. So I'm teaching her like I bought Epic the card game. I'm taught her. I'm teaching her Magic.
Oh God, why?
Wow, starting a marriage.
You must be rich.
If I teach her Magic, I won't have to worry about boys, drugs, or sex ever.
She will not have any time or money.
I have this all thought out.
Yes, but don't let her grow up to be a Spike.
No, she's definitely a Timmy. She's already a Timmy. She is already, I'm going to make you do what I want you to do. And if you don't like that, I'm going to stop you from doing it.
Yeah, I know like 2 or 3 that are like very bad Spikes here. And,
she's definitely a Timmy. All right, Jazz, who's up next?
Well, since you're already talking, why don't you just go ahead and fill us in? You got a nice big paragraph there to talk about.
I do. I have a nice big one to tell you about. I went and watched Batman vs Superman, and can I say I want my time back, even though I didn't actually pay money to see it.
You see without paying for it, CJ?
My nephew took it.
Oh, cool.
And then I hate him for taking me to see it.
Did you at least buy him dinner?
No, after seeing that, I'm like, you can go fuck yourself. I'm gonna walk home. I don't even want to be in the same car as you.
Did he buy you dinner?
No, I'm like, all right, I'm leaving because I've never wanted to just stop watching a movie so badly as this one, and I watched the Aragon movie in theaters. So like,
and what did you think?
This is probably the worst movie I've ever seen. Like seriously, wow. I legitimately hate Batman vs. I don't think I have ever hated a comic book movie outside of Howard the Duck as much as this movie. If I could give it a negative ranking, I would.
Wow.
His movie.
Zero Tito's?
0, like -3 Tito's.
It owes me Tito's.
Yeah, it owes me Tito's because I took almost 3 fucking hours to get through. It was just about as long as Civil War, and I laughed like once, and and I can't even like. I loved Now You See Me, but now that I'm seeing stuff for Now You See Me too, like whenever Jesse Eisenberg opens his mouth, I'm just like, God no.
No, we're done.
We're done. Literally, the only good thing came out of that movie was the one thing I was apprehensive about going into it, which was Ben Affleck as Batman. I'm stoked for more Ben Affleck Batman. That's it.
Oh, so you did like a portion of it. It wasn't just
Yeah.
all hate.
Yeah. Ben Affleck Batman is actually very good. Like, he's probably my second favorite Batman.
Oh, second favorite.
Because closely tied with what's his face? Keaton.
Keaton?
Yeah.
Closely tied with him, and if I see like when the next Batman movie comes out, and I'm talking live action Batman, by the way, not because nobody holds a candle to Lego Batman.
Lego Batman.
Lego Batman is better than everything.
And Kevin Conroy,
Yeah, and those two have very high pedestals. Live action Batman, like once I see the new Batman movie, which he's already signed on to write and direct it too, it might take my favorite Batman.
Yeah, I'm in for that. I still haven't seen Batman v Superman. I was gonna wait.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Just trust me on it.
I've gotta at least see
Like,
it.
even
But I'm not gonna go to the theater and see it.
Like Man of Steel was almost a shining glory of achievement compared to this.
Wow.
I thought Man of Steel was alright.
I thought it was alright.
It was alright.
I didn't like it like at all. It's mainly Zack Snyder because I'm now using Zack Snyderisms as negative things in my D&D game at home. Like I got a map that came in back in the back of the Curse of Strahd book, and I'm like, all right, this is where you're at, but Zack Snyder this entire place. It's now a verb that I use in my D&D to describe horrible, dark, depressing, want to slit your throat and wrist at the same time.
Wow.
Ouch. Man.
Wonder Woman is okay. We need a little bit. I need to see more of her. But well, Zack Snyder got fired, so I might actually go see Justice League when it comes out. So.
Oh, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he got canned. He got canned so bad, and it's weird that they're putting out a director's cut for a director they just fired. Stupid movie. Like we didn't need to see this horrible, dark, depressing piece of garbage is going to get even more dark and depressing and more violent because that's what it needed. I mean, there's almost as much fourth wall breaking in this movie as there is in Deadpool. Like, because they almost look directly at the camera at one point and go, "This part of Gotham is uninhabited." Glare at the camera.
Yeah.
Like, and they stop everything to look right in the camera for just like half a second. It's like, and that half a second feels like forever. I'm like, okay, yeah, I got more enjoyment out of the 16th wall break.
Wow.
Deadpool, just like, oh my god, I don't understand that movie like at all, and it is definitely like my least favorite movie that I've seen in at least the last 10 years.
Okay. And I had it on my list.
Strong feelings.
See it. I liked that actor as Superman in Man of Steel. I thought it was
Cavill. I really put it up to direction because I like Cavill. He looks the part of Superman, and he has the potential to be a really good Superman. I think it's Zack Snyder at this point. Like, I honestly think it's Zack Snyder. Because what I heard about Ben Affleck, he took a lot of Zack Snyder's direction and just basically said, "F you, I've directed more movies than you."
Where's your Oscar? Oh, you don't have one.
Yeah, where's your Oscar, Zack Snyder? Oh, wait, you directed nothing but shit. By the way, the only movie that I thought I liked of Zack Snyder's, I went back and watched. I'm like, God, this movie sucks. And that's 300.
Yeah.
That movie does not stack. That movie does not hold up whatsoever. Except for the slow motion nut jab with the speaker. That's the only thing that holds up.
This is slow motion. That jab holds up. Good. Good to know.
That's the rest of that movie is hot garbage. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop ranting about live action stuff and get my weeaboo on. I have watched a lot of anime in the last couple of weeks because I have a new job where I can watch anime at work. So
don't say that too loud now.
My boss listens to the show. My boss sat and watched what Gurren Lagann with me because he watched it before and he's like, "Oh, are you watching Gurren Lagann?" Yeah. Do you want me to turn it off? I can turn it off. He goes, "No, no, 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 no." It just sits and watches a couple episodes. All right, since I have like 7 here, I'm going to just break these down into like Twitter length. Log Horizon is the precursor to Sword Art Online, but does it right because it looks like they're actually playing an MMORPG.
Yes, it is amazing.
It is really good. The dub is weird, but not bad. It's obviously an older dub, so you have a little bit of that weird, like older, early 2010s feel stank on it.
Log Horizon before Sword Art?
Yep.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought Log Horizon was like after.
No, it's before. It goes Excel World, Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, and then the second part of Excel World is after Sword Art Online. You'll notice a lot of these if you do any kind of research on it. A lot of these are Weiss Schwarz sets because I wanted to watch a bunch of anime from Weiss Schwarz. Second one is Angel Beats, and I made the mistake of watching that at work. Don't watch that at work because it is depressing as fuck, and you will cry. You will cry a lot during Angel Beats. And again, don't watch it at work, especially the finale. Oh my god, it's only 13 episodes, and that last was like you can't even say it's dust. Like you were just flat out like on the floor. Try not to cry a lot. Again, Gurren Lagann, which is basically your Gundam, your big robot, but deconstructed kind of anime. Like they take all the tropes for the giant robot anime and turn it on their head, and it's very fun, very funny. It's very enjoyable.
They turn it on its head and they make it spin, right?
Exactly, and a little drill pops out of the bottom of it, and
go on.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really fun. It doesn't you don't need a lot of thought processes for it because it is by the books giant robot anime, but like none of the deep thought plot, at least not as far as I am in it, which is fantastic because I just turn that on while I'm coding or doing database work, and I just kind of go.
It's not the political.
No, it's not. Yeah, you don't get your
Gundam
political
Wing.
drama like you do in your Gundam Wings. You don't get your romance / high monarchy. You do get in like Escaflowne. You don't get your weird classist things like you get in Big O. It's literally just stupid fun, and it's fantastic. Watched an anime called Guilty Crown. And that's probably the shining anime that I have watched. The animation on it is just amazing. The voice acting, both Japanese and English, is just really good. The plot is very deep. Is just genuinely. It is probably that is. I watched that the day after I watched Batman vs Superman just to wash it out of my mouth. And Guilty, I think I put it higher because I just watched Batman vs Superman before it. But yeah, Guilty Crown. If you like anime at all, it's great. It's post-apocalyptic, but crosses with magic and technology. It kind of has a Shadowrun kind of feel to it, but anime. And those who listen to the show regularly, I talked about playing Persona 4 Golden on my Vita about 6 months ago now. I discovered the dub for Persona 4 the animation, and it is genuinely funny and genuinely good. If you don't have a Vita or don't want to play it, it is basically the game. So you're not really missing anything out on not playing the game and watching the anime. All right, and I'm going to take a quick 3-second stop here. 1, so Dale knows where to cut this, and 2, so I can take a drink. All right, so I'm going to get onto a couple of Gamer Geeks reviews here. I'm going to start with the good and start with the bad, unless you guys want to hear the bad first and then the good. What do you guys think?
Hear the bad and then let's finish off.
Yeah, keeping with tradition, we should hear the bad first, right?
All right, Stranger of Sword City, brought out by Nippon Ichi Software America, originally published by Who Gives a Fuck in Japan.
Wow.
This game harkens back to the old first-person dungeon crawly kind of like Wolfenstein with swords. Your King's Quest, your that kind of thing. And turns out that kind of genre doesn't work too well now. This game really sucks. Whoa!
Bad, my bad.
Cara Berry!
What?
Because what you described got me. I mean, rose my eyebrow. It sounds great when you say it.
I grew up playing those games.
Yeah.
I guess, and this might be a your mileage may vary kind of thing, but it harkens back to it so much where it's so slow, the controls aren't really intuitive. There's a lot of resource management in this because you get 5 people originally, and then you can make up your own party from there with the sort of classes and everything like that, and it's so much to think about that it just wasn't fun. Again, I just got on this about games, not wanting to play games that are work. But when you have to worry about not spending so much on potions, so you can keep your people hired because you're just running mercenaries, it's a pain in the ass when you finish a fight and you don't have enough money to pay your person again, and then they just go away.
Oh.
And then they cost extra to hire them back. But because they're already leveled up, those are the people that you want. But, it's such a hassle to get anything working on this. I normally, for the games that I get for review, I typically try and play them through all the way, but I got through about 6 hours of this game, and I'm just like, I can't do it anymore.
Only 6 hours?
So, sorry, Nippon Ichi. I love everything else that you send to me for review, but this one I'm going to have to give a big old 1 out of 5 stars. It's playable enough for me. Did not give it a half a star, but it's not. If you're into resource management and those kind of King's Quest games, give it a shot. You might like it. The storyline's not bad, but yeah. Also, make sure that you have the Japanese voices on and not the English ones because they are god-awful. And now I'm going to move on to the better game, Bravely Second, I don't remember what the subtitle of it is off the top of my head. Want to say it's like Endbreak or something like that. A couple years ago on the 3DS, a game came out from Square Enix called Bravely Default. And I played the hell out of that game, beat it 4 times. It is literally your 16-bit RPGs. Like, switch classes, you only get 4 characters, the animation is like that, is so... It is...
my language, man.
It's the same thing, they all stand on one side of the field and just, cast spells across the field at it. Except
man.
It's polished. So it has that, but it has those cool 3D effects to it. So when Bravely Second came out, I was very sad that I couldn't buy it on opening day. So my next paycheck came in and I bought it immediately, and I have not put it down. I've already finished the storyline once on it, and I'm already through my second playthrough. I'm already going on my second playthrough of it with a all magic class based system. Because
it's only on 3DS.
Yeah, it's only on a 3DS. You don't need an XL for it, nor a new 3DS. I heard that they're planning on putting it on the Wii U Virtual Console eventually because the 3DS and Wii U Virtual Consoles are starting to become pretty much one and the same.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's what NX is going to be basically the big bridge between them because they said it's not going to replace either of those 2 systems. So I have a feeling that's what the NX is going to be as a connection bridge between the 3DS and the Wii U. But I mean, if you have this, if you have a 3DS, like there's literally no reason to pick up Bravely Default and then Bravely Second. Don't pick up Bravely Second right off the bat, because you'll have no idea what the hell's going on. This is not one of those kind of games where you can jump into the second game and just kind of pick up and go with it. No, like why is this person crying? Oh, why is that person mad? Oh,
Doesn't
why
the
is that
first
person?
one start out with like a VR, AR kind of opening?
Yep, and so does this one.
Oh, okay.
And
Like,
it's
yeah,
Bravely Second End Layer.
End layer. There we go.
So we have it right.
Yeah, this game is so much fun. I have a very long bus ride to work now, and I do not wish to relinquish me playing this game when I get off the bus to go to work. So I'm going to give this one actually a 4.5 out of 5 because it's not a perfect game. The soundtrack isn't as good as I would like it to be. It's not as good as the first game. And I do tend to take off a couple of points if you can't just dive in, because there's a reason why we say our names at the beginning of every podcast. Every game, every episode, every issue is somebody's first. And I think there should be some kind of previously on, if nothing else. And there's none of that. Other than that, now I'm going to go over to the Geek Toy side of things and talk about a game I bought at PAX East, because it was another one of those. I have a few minutes to spend before I go to work. Oh, crap. 4 hours later. How much is this game? $30. Fine. Shut up and take my money. It is called Pixel Glory. It is a deck building game that is completely revolved around 8-bit sprites. And basically, like, you get it, the entire game is completely 8-bit sprited out. You play adventurers going through a dungeon, casting spells at monsters, trying to kill them before your adventuring party does.
And this is all tabletop, right?
Yep, this is tabletop. This is completely tabletop. It's $30. They have their achievements expansion out on Kickstarter right now. It's just genuinely fun. It does have a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, and it's not so bad if you play deck building games like Legendary or a deck building game, or any of those. Once you play, if you have a hint on those, and you know how to play this game pretty well. And I play so much deck building games that it's not even funny.
So there's been a lot of these kind of 8-bit games, and I thought at first you were going to refer to Pixel Tactics, which I haven't played myself, but it looks good. And then there's Boss Monster, and then Super Hazard Quest was also at PAX East, and they just finished their very successful Kickstarter. So this is yet another one.
Yeah, this is very much so in the vein of like, it's in the vein of the animation of Boss Monster, except for obviously you're playing the adventurer instead of the boss, and you are it's kind of I'd seen Pixel Tactics, but I had not picked it up. It kind of combines Boss Monster with Munchkin, because you're playing as a team but against each other at the same time. So you have to find a way to stop your opponent from killing a monster by healing it while you're dealing damage to another one. You maxing out your elemental attacks so you can quickly wipe the board before your opponents do, so that way they're stuck with creatures with like 14 and 15 health when they can only do 1 or 2 damage.
Got it.
Yeah, so it's really fun. I wish I had the box in here with me. But with all my computer issues, it was enough for me to get it going when we did. But yeah, this game is genuinely a lot of fun. It has become quickly a staple to the board game nights. We alternate between the Contender from Justin Robert Young, the Contender.us. Not paying for it, but he's a good friend of ours. Bad Sentinels of the Multiverse. as soon as I pick it up, Mars versus Earth.
And I was looking for you that third day. I didn't see you at the greater than booth. I kept going over saying, "Is CJ here?" But
Yeah, I had to catch an early flight that day. I didn't get over to the greater than booth.
I was going to give you a copy because I wanted to hold off earlier in pack because we bought a lot of inventory, for specifically to hopefully sell, and then didn't sell nearly as much as we had wanted to. So I was like, I'll gladly give CJ a copy of that.
We'll talk off air on that one. I will. I'm still very interested in getting it. Other than that, I'm doing a lot more stuff locally here, and I'm going to start sounding like Budlong here for a second. And no, I'm not leaving the show because I'm getting a paying gig, but I am getting a paying gig. I'm building a lot more community within the Tampa Bay community. I live in Tampa Bay, Florida, and I'm doing the geek community around here is strong, but there's always room for improvement. We have a lot of little game stores around that aren't doing so great, don't have a lot of people coming into them. So I am taking, I'm doing a few podcasts and some Twitch streams from local stores, and for the most part I'm being paid in store credit from these stores, which is great, but also that doesn't pay the bills. But it does feed my bad habits, so which does technically then pay the bills. Nothing better than paying for the Legendary Encounters set, which is like $50-something bucks, with just one night's earnings off of a Twitch stream. But yeah, I'm working with Titan Games and Sports in Pinellas Park, Florida, and also Serenity Games in Largo, Florida. Working with a couple other ones. Going to be more with them. Also revving back up the Tampa Bay Geeks site that we have on geek-io.net/Tampa Geeks. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more of that coming around, especially with MetroCon, our big anime convention coming up next month. We have our Tampa Bay Comic Con coming up, and I'm piecing together stuff to do some pretty big things for Geek.io there and get us involved more in the local community. Much akin to how Budlong has taken over the mobile podcasting area.
He is ruler. Or something.
Okay, I have talked a lot. Raul, what have you been up to?
Okay, in the same vein of anime, I've been watching this anime on Amazon Prime, Kirby of the Iron Fortress, which is I guess zombie. Yeah, technically it's a zombie anime with a twist where just shooting them in the head won't bring them down. You have to, for some reason, around their heart forms a bone casing that regular bullets can't penetrate, and it's steampunk. It's kind of like a steampunk. They've got like some kind of like a steam generator on their packs with a hose coming up to their steam gun.
Huh.
And
go on.
Yes. And you need, like, Walking Dead shows hordes, right? Like maybe 1,000, 2,000.
Yeah.
This is a little bit more. This is more like World War Z level hordes.
Go on.
It's interesting because you have like the low level Kirby. Well, yeah, that's Kirby and then Kirby Niri, which are like humans who are infected, but they can control it to the point where they can get all the strength.
There's no dub of this?
Not yet.
Okay. I can't watch it at work.
Yeah, it's coming out once a week through Amazon Prime. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay. Let's see. You have your basic ones, then you have your ones that still retain a little bit of their memories, but it's their fighting memories, so they're a little bit tougher. They'll start fighting with swords and all that. And one they just showed one that was actually three in one, like just fused together. So yeah, it's
So Zombie Rat King.
Pretty much, and they have something that they called a Cube Shadow, which it is insane. Which you have to watch it. It's a good anime.
You've got me intrigued. I'm gonna watch it.
Okay, and it's all on Amazon Prime. I think they only have like 6 or 7 episodes.
Okay.
I'm also actually I've been doing this for the past couple of past couple of weeks actually. Replaying Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Mix.
Okay.
And yeah, it's a lot shorter than I thought it was because it's like I remember spending hours upon hours getting everything in that game.
Yeah, that was a time suck.
Yes, just because of the farming for materials to get the Ultima weapon, and just hoping to get that 1% chance drop.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm going down the line. I'm going to go Kingdom Hearts, and I'm going to go play Kingdom Hearts 2.
By the time those are out, Kingdom Hearts 3 will be out, maybe.
I'm not holding my breath for Kingdom Hearts 3 yet.
We'll have Final Fantasy 15 this year, so you get that to hold us over at least.
Yeah,
their numbering scheme's a little screwed up.
Yeah. Because you had 313 games, 210 games. Now you're up to 47 games or something like that.
Wait, 310 games?
210 games, 313.
Which 3? There's 13 Lightning Returns.
13 2 and 13 and Lightning Returns.
Is it 13-2?
Yeah, it's with Sarah and her boyfriend, and you're basically playing Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
It's actually better than 13.
That's not saying too much.
No, it's not. Don't get me wrong. With me saying something's like playing Pokemon, that's actually quite a compliment.
What else? Oh yeah. Yeah, they have to show. I mean, they've been showing things off for Kingdom Hearts 3 at E3 like every year, right?
Yeah,
but they've never shown.
We might get a tentative release date next weekend.
Hopefully.
By the way, E3's next weekend or next week, guys.
Holy crap!
That means, oh God, we have to worry about getting E3 stuff up, Raul. Crap.
And I've also just been playing this little small game called Overwatch. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Playing that game this weekend. Damn it.
And I mean, it's just like a little simple first-person shooter game, PvP. You got some different classes. They're a little bit unique, but
Dave pulling A by roll.
Yeah, every single player, all 21 heroes are unlocked as soon as you pay. You pay your $30.
But it's actually only $40 for the base one, $60 for the Origins edition.
And paying $60, you're really only getting cosmetic stuff.
Yeah, you might
other games
$40 and grind a few more loot boxes.
Yeah.
Because the skins you get aren't even the good ones. Like I saw Lucio's legendary skin, and like I need to get that and unlock it because it's him basically in Tampa Bay Lightning gear. With our hockey team, it's fantastic. Like it's literally Tampa Bay Lightning uniform, like blue, white, has lightning going down the side of it. Like I saw that, like, oh crap, now I have to play Lucio.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I played Team Fortress 2. They have 9 classes. And yeah, they're all unique from each other, but it's only 9 classes. Overwatch, Team Fortress is free. I mean, it was pay, but now it's free. Overwatch, you pay your 40, 60, or your collector's edition price, 120, and you get your little statue. And it's like everything's unlocked. The only thing that's locked are cosmetic stuff, which you get from playing the game, or you can do a microtransaction, which is done right. It's like, oh, you want $1? Okay, $1.29, or it's like $2, isn't it?
I think it's $1.99 for one, and it goes up to like $40 for $1 each.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I mean, you can unlock it, and then from I've been reading, you get to level 100 and you reset, and you can just keep doing it over and over again.
Yep.
Um,
Blizzard wants all of your time.
yeah, I mean, you go into the offense characters, and each one is completely different from each other, and each one has their own bit of lore that fits into this world. That's what I think is amazing. But one downside is that you don't get any of that lore in game.
Yeah, that's a little bit irritating. That all the lore has been to the side.
Yeah, I mean, they make amazing short movies, comics,
Yeah.
and I don't think they've had short stories yet, right?
No, not yet. Just the comics and the videos. Yeah,
And
everybody do yourself a favor and go to the Play Overwatch YouTube stream channel, and watch those videos that they put out, because that just makes you scream for Blizzard to make a legit just animated movie.
oh yes, yeah. I mean, I was thinking like they could make a series
Oh yeah.
easily. I actually like the Hero 76, right?
Soldier 76.
Oh yeah, Soldier 76. His short film is amazing.
That's the only one I haven't watched yet, but the one with Hanzo and Genji brothers is really good.
It is. And that's pretty much been my life for about the past like week since it's been out. 2 weeks. So. And I've been watching a ton of Twilight Zone.
Oh, I thought you were going to say there for a second. I'm like,
No.
You're
No.
fired!
No, it's been slow at my work, so yeah, I've been watching old Twilight Zone episodes, which I've noticed a shift like from the older ones from the early seasons to like season 5. The early seasons they give you the setup and they're holding something back, and then they give you the twist, and then they give you the oh my god twist.
Well, Twilight Zone was supposed to end after a certain amount. Like, it wasn't supposed to go nearly as long as it did, and basically the network just was like, all right, Rod, you're not getting out of this. And eventually Rod just stopped caring, and then had other people start writing and directing the stuff, and then he just popped in and stand lead the joint.
Yeah, what I found in season 5 is that they were more, not saying it's bad, but they were like moral stories.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, this is just a story about true love or something like that. Like, in the end, you must always. It had a moral to the story, and it was like, yeah, the old ones had that too, but it had more of a bigger twist to it. I mean, it had more of a sci-fi feel.
Yeah. Definitely.
And that's been my life.
All right.
Few shows from the same kind of generation, Amazing Stories and Alfred Hitchcock Presents. Those two shows were the other ones that I loved back with Twilight Zone.
Amazing Stories. I think I saw the what's it called, like the reboot where it's all color and it's them telling stories from like caveman and they're like pulling out all the way out, right? Is that Amazing Stories?
That sounds like the intro of Amazing Story. I didn't see any reboot. I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so I guess that's what it was. I mean, it was full color, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah.
Yeah, you're thinking about
it was newer. You're right.
Black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock rocked the black and white.
Yeah.
No
Yeah, I
doubt.
think Amazing Stories. I think they were like an hour long, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And one last thing before we move on to the next segment. I did watch Black Mirror. I don't know if anyone's seen that.
Keep being told to watch it by somebody on this show right now, but I keep forgetting to watch it.
I watched their latest episode, which is called White Christmas. Man, that show it's like a Twilight Zone episode, but 10 times better because it's got more. It's like how crazy can we get with technology in the next 20, 30 years? With social media, us being able to share everything instantly. What's another one? But yeah, I mean, it's just insane. And it's only 3 episodes a season, but they're each like an hour and a half long. So
Yeah. All right, so we're actually going to take a break here. We're going to get a few words from our sponsors, and then on the other end, we're going to make Jason talk about himself and Geek Fever Games. Put him on the spot, grill him a little bit, and poke him till he squirms.
Bring it.
On that note, we will be right back here in just a couple of moments. Your music during the break. I'm going to go back to as I typically do with me on the show, our good friend Leo Miceli. And you'll remember, and speaking of the first year that we did this, second year of this, early 2012, there was this little thing that I played incessantly here on the podcast, driving both Jared's and even John Slater absolutely insane. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm going to play the metal cover of Gangnam Style by a Norwegian man who has English as a second language, who learned Korean specifically for this song. So,
All right.
On that notebook, we will be right back. Stay tuned.
Hello. Quick reminder to use geek-io.net/Amazon for all... What do you mean? Amazon? No, that makes no sense. It's amazing, you see, not the largest river in the world by discharge. These people want to buy the latest Bryan Adams CD, not piranhas and anacondas. Shut up now! And everyone else, go geek-io.net/Amazon.
Hey you! Yes you, fine listener of this program. You can help us become more than what we already are. I know, it's a revolution. Hold on to your butts, because I'm about to give you a URL address that could change our lives. Not really, but it would help us out tremendously if you went over to geek-io.net/support, so we could do a lot more than what we're actually doing now. That website actually has a lot of links on it where you can help us out monthly through Patreon at our Patreon site at patreon.com/geekio, or you can help us out once off by supporting those who support us. But then you can become the ones who support us, who support you, who support us. It's supportception. To continue this supportception, it's in your hands. Go to geek-io.net/support to keep this ever-long cycle of support up. Thank you.
Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style. 나줄래다 사로운 인가 요지 여자 커피야 나누 조들하냐 봄야 인야 조자 밤이 우야 심지함도 좋으시는 자자 그런 반전 있는 여자 나는 사랑해요 나도 나는 말고 나 사랑 없고 사랑해요 꼭 이제 비는 단어와 땡땡한 사랑해요 밤이 엄먹이긴 아니라 나리 소름해요 이런 소름해요 El devil, select the devil, good and now. El devil, select the devil, good and now. 시키부터 개체까지 가볼게. 오빠 Gangnam Style, Gangnam Style. What my Gangnam Style? What my Gangnam Style? What my Gangnam Style? Yeah, sexy lady. What my Gangnam Style? Yeah, sexy lady. 좋게 보이지만 돈의 여자 이때와 싶으며 목표도 어디 보는 여자 가요팅한 몸나랑 너도 몰아야 하노라 그러면 약자지 여자 야 진짜 너만 곱다잖아 없고잖아 고삐신 길었잖아 원래 대타잖아 마음이야 멋지지면 기다가니 소름돼 이런 소름돼 Let devil, say let the devil go and now. Let the devil, say let the devil go and now. 시기부터 깨지까지 가볼게. 못 바꿔면 style, 강남 style. 오빠 강남 스타일 오빠 강남 스타일 오빠 강남 스타일 sexy lady 오빠 강남 스타일 sexy lady Korean, not a no. Baby, baby, not no more. John, mind no more. Green and no. Korean, not a no. Baby, baby, not no more. John, mind no more. You know what I'm saying? What my Gangnam Style. Yeah, sexy lady. What my Gangnam Style. Yeah, sexy lady. Gangnam Style. Gangnam Style.
Oh my goodness, I kind of forgot how long that song was, but also how happy it made me. Oh, that's not supposed to play. Nope. And that one right there. You only get one song a week, Leo. Don't push your luck.
Simmer down now.
So yeah, that was his from his Leo Metal Covers Volume 7, Gangnam Style. By the way, just as a heads up on this one actually makes me really, really happy. Because the songs on this one is Take Me to Church, Get Lucky, X's and O's, Mamma Mia, Ace of Spades, Girl You Know It's True, Wannabe, California Dreamin', and finally, What a Wonderful World, all in metal covers.
All right. Okay.
This guy makes me so happy with the stuff that he does. On his Volume 8, he has a metal cut version of The Wheels on the Bus.
Wow.
I'm not joking.
That's special.
It is
Wheels on the bus.
fantastic.
And round.
Was that wheels or weasels on a bus?
The wheels on the hold on.
No, Jazz. It sounded like Jazz said weasels on a bus.
Wheels. No, I just said it weird. I don't know.
The wheels on the bus go round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
That's
So anyway.
I got to play that at Starbucks once because they left the Spotify thing open for me because I know the people there. Put that on. The benefits of being friends with the management at Starbucks are you don't actually get banned for doing crap like that. Like, you can play whatever, just as long as it doesn't swear. I'm like, anything? Yeah, anything. Metal covered wheels on the bus. This is definitely happening. Oh boy! All right then, let's go ahead and then hit this button here.
Got it. Beat me behind this game right now. What I do isn't very nice. Tiny whitey. Stuff.
Oh, geek out.
This is the Geek Out segment where we take one topic, subject, or something and beat it into the ground until it's bloody. This week, of course, we don't bring on a awesome game developer without beating them bloody about their game.
Sounds violent.
Yeah, well. So, Jason, tell us a little bit about Geek Fever games in general and some of the stuff that you work on over there.
Yep, so we got three of us. As of middle of last year, we brought on Tim Mierzejewski. So Matt, Tim, and I, we never sleep. We eat, breathe, and sleep game design. We've got about 6 contests that we are in as we speak. One coming up that we're going to be submitting to. Probably a dozen in-progress designs, and just this last week we launched 2 new games. So just have a lot, like too much, a ton of stuff going on, and it's awesome. It's awesome. We've kind of taken the approach of rather than putting all eggs in one basket and pouring everything into this one thing, this one big Kickstarter, and having that be the big bet. We like to have a lot of different things. We're chasing a lot of different opportunities all at the same time, and that's working well for us so far.
Awesome. So I mentioned Mars versus Earth during the show a couple of times. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that starting off?
So that's our flagship game. Basically, we launched the company about 4 years ago. This was a game that Matt and I had kind of in the works on the side, and coming off of, well, Matt and I go back about 20 years back to high school. And we had tried building something back then before all of today's tools were available for essentially self-publishing and just getting indie games to market. So we tried something back then, and it was miserable failure and waste of money and great tax write-off. So we dissolved that 18 years ago. And fast forward to about 4 years ago, after 5+ kids, between the two of us, and lives kind of settled down, we said, hey, we got Kickstarter these days, we got Ad Magic, we got the Game Craft, we got all these tools, we can do something for real, maybe. So let's try it. And so we had this game that we were already kind of just, because we kept dabbling on the sides, and it was playing really well. We said, we think we have something pretty special here. So we just, we dove in head first, and it's couldn't be more thrilled with where that particular game has now come to. Won a couple great awards, and it's got some real legs, and we're talking to some great people about what to do with it next. So I know you had a chance to play a couple games just recently, but what's stupidly exciting for us is just every con we go to, this game is played top, from beginning to end of the convention, and every response is just unanimously consistent. It's just solid. Every single person absolutely loves playing it, and usually one person in each group that we play with will buy a copy. So it seems like it's got the right recipe for making it bigger than it has so far. So that's our next trick.
No, absolutely. Awesome. That game is absolutely ridiculously fun. If you're a fan of like the hidden agenda kind of somebody's a traitor kind of games, this is like it is a lot of fun without taking itself too seriously.
It's brilliant. Thank you. Yeah, we I was exposed to Battlestar Galactica, probably a year after it came out, and that kind of introduced me to the world of this hidden loyalty concept. And then, of course, discovered the Resistance and the original Mafia and Werewolf and all the games that are now in the space. So certainly, it's a mechanic I fell in love with because to me it adds the infinite dynamic of the human element that can't be predicted, and it kind of trumps all other mechanics in my mind, which are artificial. This is something that's just fluid and organic, and you can't predict, and it's what it creates are some of these unbelievable gaming moments, epic moments of intensity. So I wanted a game in that realm, and clearly the Resistance is a very successful game, kind of on that low end of the spectrum of 5-10 minute games, very very straightforward and simple, not a lot to it. And then Battlestar, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, 2+ hour games, very deep. And one of the things that we came to learn with Battlestar, when it first came out, we had those epic moments that I was talking about, but it eventually turned into realizing that because of the way the game is constructed, especially with a lot of the expansions, it is very often to the benefit of Hidden Cylon in this scenario to reveal themselves very quickly, because they can play just as powerfully, if not more powerfully, as a revealed Cylon. And what that to me does is it removes the intrigue and the very thing that made it special to me and my playgroup. The thing that made it incredible and unique in my mind was started to become nullified. And so when we set out to do Mars vs. Earth, we're like, we want a game where it has that hidden loyalty element. It is absolutely critical that you stay hidden. You want to stay hidden as long as possible because that is where you're going to be the most effective. But then also have a lot of teeth to it, like as far as depth of gameplay. So more than the Resistance, it's kind of, to me, it fills that chasm in between the two, and done so very successfully so far.
So, I mean, from what I'm hearing, it's like a cooperative game with a trader, right?
So multiple traders, yes. Essentially, every player is playing an elite agent in the agency that's defending Earth against the Martian attacks and this new threat that exists. And so in this elite agency, unfortunately, the Martians have infiltrated the ranks, and they've started to clone some of the human agents. And so the players around the table don't really know at first who's playing against them in this agency, who's actually secretly working as a Martian clone. And one of the unique elements of the game is that there are several cloning waves throughout the game. And so at the beginning of the game, it's possible everyone is actually full human. But then there are 2 or 3 cloning waves throughout the game when some of the humans will be replaced with Martian clones. And the real trick is, how do you balance that now? Like, if there aren't any Martians until the very end, well, they didn't have as long to screw with the humans, so how's that balance? And the answer is that they're actually more powerful by the mechanics of the game, so that if they become a Martian much later in the game, they're actually a level 3, level 4, level 5 Martian with different powers because of that. And so that's kind of built into the game. One of the other really, I think, kind of innovative aspects of the game that works really well is it scales up to 10 players. So this is a game that can play very fast and interactive and simultaneous. Almost all the game is played simultaneously for up to very large groups of people. And one of the ways that is made possible is through a proximity system where there are basically missions going on simultaneously, but those missions are kind of distributed out amongst the human agents around the table. And if you are within two players of a mission, you can affect that mission. There's a leader. One of the agents will be leading the mission. If you're within 2 of that player, you can affect that mission. But if there's a mission happening on the other side of the table that you can't even see because it's so far away, you don't have to worry about what's happening at that mission. You're not in the proximity. So some of these mechanics really play very well together to create an experience that's rich, and it has that intensity that I wanted for a very large group of people.
It was it's great watching a boyfriend and girlfriend play against each other, because we really saw that the girlfriend was was the alien, and the deciding vote was typically the boyfriend who really didn't want to just go against his girlfriend. But it turned out that she wasn't, and then bad stuff happens when you wrongly accuse somebody.
That's right. There's so then there's this player-driven accusation system where you bring people to trial, and there's an offense and a defense of through the trial process, and you kind of determine is this person going to be ousted from the agency, meaning they're no longer an agent, whether or not they were actually a Martian. And so what happens is if they were Martian, good job, humans, you outed a Martian, and now he is a much weaker Martian, he or she, because of it. That's what they really want to do. But on the flip side, if you accidentally accuse and bring to trial and oust a human, they are now a civilian player, where they can't lead missions, they can't help as much against the Martian threat. They're still a human, they're still a player, they still want to win with the human players, but they are gimped now, and so they don't have nearly as much capability to help. Then there's a way that you can reinstate a civilian back into the agency.
And what's the end-game condition for the Martians?
So the Martians win if they deplete any of the human resources to 0. So the humans will start with a certain number of resources based on the number of players in the game. The resources are food, tech, defenses, and people. And so if any one of those 4 resources reaches 0, then the humans have lost, the Martians have won. And the way those resources are depleted is by the humans failing to defeat the different threats. And these are the missions that get distributed around the table. And so if the humans successfully defeat the threats, then they are one step closer towards winning the game, because they have to defeat a certain number of threats in order to win.
I guess average game size would probably be what, like 4 to, well, I guess it scales to 10.
So it goes, 3 to 10, but the sweet spot, you can play 3-player games, but there's only going to be one hidden Martian at some point throughout the game. The amount of intrigue is reduced just by nature of that. But 5 to 7, like, that's the sweet spot.
Okay.
You get 2 to 3 hidden Martians, and 8 you'd have 4 hidden Martians, and the dynamics are just insane.
Would this be like would this be like the main game of game night? Like, would this be like a 3-hour game or like?
No, under an hour.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it plays fast, even with large groups of people. So a 10-player game, probably an hour. But I was playing this at lunch with a bunch of people. We play like 5 or 6-player games at one of my prior companies, and we play twice in a lunch hour.
Nice. So, yeah, it'd be a nice addition to game night.
Oh yeah, sounds like it. And based on the reaction, it sounds like it's pretty easy to just jump in and figure out how everything works, and people are.
It is. My first game, how I actually got introduced to Jason was I just kind of was walking by and they just started a game and I sat down. I'm like, can I play? And they just started a game. So yeah, it's very easy to just get in and run with it until you read out the fact that you're a Martian and everybody kind of looks at you funny.
And then at the cons, I make you wear these antennas when you're a Martian.
Yeah, he had epic glasses that he had on the Martian.
So yeah, no, it's very rewarding getting the game where it is and just seeing these consistent responses. So we're talking to some publishers now. I feel like that's what we need to do to get it to the next tier. We got some distributors who are ready to distribute it, but in order to do that, we gotta be able to print mass quantities, and so there's kind of a chicken egg thing we got to deal with. Be great if we can get this picked up by a decent publisher. So it's kind of where we're going next.
Great.
So another game that I was, why don't you tell us a little bit about more of some of the other games that you guys do over there?
Absolutely. So I'll go in chronological order because it's easiest for my brain. So Matt worked on, while I was kind of refining this one, Matt had punched out a PC game Don't get too excited. We're not in the PC game business. It's not where we're going to be. But he did release Sim Hero, which is an 8-bit, old-school style RPG management sim. So kind of Final Fantasy 1-esque, but rather than being a full RPG, it's an RPG management sim, like Sim Hero or that's what it's called, Sim City, or like a sports sim if you've ever played those kind of games. So you're building a party of adventurers and outfitting them with all the loot and items that you found, and sending them into dungeons, sending them on quests. And basically, they go out, and after a period of time, they come back, and they get a log of how did they do, how many traps did the thief set, and how did the cleric do? Was he healing people? What challenges did they encounter that they couldn't overcome? And so you see this log, and you kind of decide from there how you want to tweak your party and upgrade them, and get into the bigger dungeons where there's better loot and bigger monsters and so on. So kind of a neat twist on an old school style RPG. Amazingly, it's been stupidly successful. We kickstarted that, and we rose 5 times any other Kickstarter that we've run to date. And it's been consistently on the top 100 charts of IndieDB, which is a big database for PC games, indie PC games, and it has a huge fan base. So we're now kind of considering, Matt is dabbling with a kind of a Sim Hero Online, same concepts but in a multiplayer online HTML5 environment that we might even be able to take to a larger audience. So anyway, that's the second one. That's freely available, by the way. Anyone can go to our website, geekfevergames.com, and go to Sim Hero, and there's a link right there to download it. It's free, optional donation, but we just made that available, and it's a lot of people. We get hundreds of downloads a day on that thing, which is just amazing, stupefying to us that he was able to do that in RPG Maker, which is like a toolkit on Steam, and that it's that successful.
Yes, one of the biggest thing in PC indie development has been RPG Maker.
Yeah.
Because I've seen not so great games with it, and then I've seen games that are like, the mechanics are just simple RPG. I mean, it looks like Earthbound, where it's got like, there's no player, but you just see the enemy and all that. But it's got amazing storyline.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, it's a great gift, a great tool for indie development. A little on the expensive side, but yeah. It's good.
Yep. So now he's doing it native, kind of building it himself, because he has some of those coding chops that I don't, certainly. So that's going on. Then that was when we kind of met up with Tim, and he had a line of games that he called Fire Peng, as in Fire Penguin, and so we merged with Fire Peng Games, and he became an equal partner, and we kind of absorbed in. Plus Word was the word game word association game that he had created, and that one's got some real legs as well. We're actually talking with some representatives from Target and a bunch of publishers. It's more of a mainstream, wide audience type game. It's got a bunch of expansions out. We just released a politics expansion, timely. We have a sci-fi expansion, a holiday expansion, Plus Word Plus, and then we're going to be working on a wilds, which would just be kind of beasts and animals, and then what's the last one? Superhero. Plus Word Heroes, probably, something like that. So a bunch of small expansions. They're all really inexpensive. You can buy them individually and play them on their own, or combine them in with the main set. It's very simple party game. Again, scales up to 10 plus players. And what's really neat about this one is it helps you very quickly realize that's how my wife thinks. That's how her brain works. That's why we can't seem to communicate properly, and so on. You really notice very rapidly just how different brains associate concepts and words and thoughts in a massively different way. And so, where one person might take these two words and combine them in such a way that seems very logical, another person might combine these words in a way that is very amorphous or ethereal. Somebody else needs to combine them in a way that makes grammatical sense, because that's the way their brain works and thinks. So really interesting what it kind of opens up and helps people discover about each other, which creates them for a lot of fun in a party atmosphere.
And this was which game?
That's plus word.
Oh, plus word. Oh, okay.
Plus word. So basically, every card just has one word on it, and everyone gets a hand of 7 cards. What you have to do is make 3 pairs from those 7 cards, and then discard 1 card. So I've got the words. Let's say desert and engine. That's one of the pairs that I decided I'm going to make. And now I write down secretly what my third word that connects those 2 words is, and I write down what I think other people are going to guess, or at least what I'm saying I want my connecting word to be. But you want other people to guess as well. You want people to guess what your word was correctly, because that's how you'll get some points. And so I write down my connecting word for the 3 pairs. When it's my turn, I put all 3 pairs out on the board, and one by one we go around, and everyone guesses. They write down their guess, and then we kind of call them out as to what they think the connecting word is for desert and engine, as one example. And anyone who guesses what my connecting word was successfully gets a point, and I get a point as well for each person. So that's an example I keep going back to, because I think I forget what my original answer was, because I've used this as an example so many times now. But like one answer you might say is stall or overheat, because an engine in the desert would likely overheat. Well, somebody else said camel, because a camel is kind of like an engine in the desert, right? And so you get very different ways of attaching these words and thinking about how to combine them. And then there were some other really interesting answers to that one. So yeah, that one's a lot of fun. Plays very, very fast. I mean, it's meant to just be kind of a fun, very casual mass market type game.
And they're all standalone, right? I mean, like plus sci-fi. That's one.
Yep. So here's the deal: the big box plus word, the main box, this one that I'm holding here, has a board in it. It's not functional. It's just cosmetic. Like, it's a board that you can put those 3 pairs of cards onto, and it just kind of looks nice in the center of the table. And it has a score track around the outside of the board with little pawns, so you can see how many points each person has. But you can just as easily keep track of the score with a paper and pen, and put the card pairs in the middle of the table. So the standalone packs have instructions to do just that. They say put the pairs in the center of the table and mark the scores on a piece of paper. So it's certainly nicer to have the board, and for the kind of the target market, it would be that main box, and then you buy the expansions and that amount. We've also just worked through rules for a travel edition, which is very simple to play. You just one person in the car draws 2 cards from the deck randomly, and chooses a word, says it out loud, and then, they draw the 2 cards, and then they tell everyone in the car, here's the 2 words, desert and engine. Everyone think of a word in your head, and then one by one, everyone goes around the car and says what their word was. If you matched with anyone else in the car, you get a point. So you can just grab a pair, make the word connections, and away you go. So we did that for about 3 hours on the way to and from the New Jersey convention that we were just at. And we were having a ball the whole time. We were testing out the new politics set words, and then going back to the old words, and just awesome.
Nice. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yep. So that's plus word, and so that was branded under a different name before, and then we worked with Tim once he came on board and kind of rebranded it and put Geek Fever on it, and then he didn't have any of the expansions at that time, and I said, well, sci-fi sounds cool, right? And he said, yeah, it sounds cool. And so like an hour later, I gave him a list of like 400 words in the sci-fi genre, and he said, oh, okay, let me pare that down to a 90-card deck, and now we have plus word sci-fi and about 2 backup sci-fi sets that we'll release later on.
Very cool.
It's great because it's just so easy to churn out expansions, and they really do, they're thematic, but still how do I explain this? Like the word force, of course, is in the sci-fi set, but force is a multi-use word. Like it can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't just have to have this sci-fi connotation. And so those are the words that really work well in this game. And so we choose words that, on their own, of course, amidst a bunch of other sci-fi words and with a background that's black with a green laser shooting through it, it has a sci-fi connotation. But mixed in with the rest of the core set, it can take on a bunch of different meanings, and that's kind of where the game really shines.
Have you ever tried playing with like just all the cards in there?
Yeah, I didn't think I would like it, to be honest. I thought mixing the holiday set, for example, in with sci-fi cards, I was like, how on earth, am I going to answer or kind of connect the words force, for example, and menorah, or something like that. But those types of combinations do come up, and then people get really creative with it and actually put down a word, and then other people are actually guessing successfully because there's probably only a couple possible things you could say about that particular combination of words. So yeah, it's worked better than I expected. But then also keep in mind the main way to play, you get a hand of 7 cards. You don't have to force those words together. You can find a more generic word to pair with menorah in that example, and then put force with something else if you want. So you get choices as to how you pair these things up.
Yeah.
So, and then the other thing that Tim was working on actively when we first hooked up with him, he had an active Kickstarter for Awesome Bots, which successfully funded and has now been fully launched. And so that was the other big game that was going on around the time that we joined forces. Awesome Bots is a much smaller game, kind of 2 to 4 player. You have a workshop of all these different parts and pieces of robots, and you essentially you're racing to kind of build and scrap together the best, awesomest bot that you can. And there's these big bots, and the big bots are the ones that you're really trying to get. They're worth the most points. They have the biggest cost, and they're the hardest to build. But once the 4th big bot is built, the game is over. And then there's kind of some super goals, and we kind of count those points in. Everyone counts up all their bots that they've built, all the points related to their pieces, and the overarching goals, and then highest point value wins. So it's another we're big into simultaneous and just keeping everyone engaged all the time as much as possible. And so
yeah, so I mean, you could spend your whole time building like the giant robot with a ton of points, or you could just be building the small ones, right?
You got it. Yep, that's the 2 very different ways to play that, and every gradation in between. But yes, that's correct. In fact, one of the super goals is who has the most, let's say, purple parts. Well, to have the most purple parts, you need to do what you just said. You need to have a lot of these smaller robots that just have these smaller pieces that we have a greater quantity of parts. Whereas another one is, who has drawing a blank without having the cards in front of me here, but the most upgraded parts. Well, to get the most upgraded parts, it means that you're constantly improving on this chassis of your robot, getting better and better and better, so you're going to be more towards that big bot, the really gold-lined, top-of-the-line robot.
And you're selling all these through your website, through Amazon?
Mars vs. Earth is on both. It's on Amazon and on, of course, on our website. All the other ones are currently on our site. They link over to the publisher's site to download, or to purchase, rather. And then we will probably get 1 or 2 others up on Amazon. There's a lot of tricks to that. It's the economics do not currently work in our favor. We actually have to charge a couple dollars more to put it on Amazon because of the massive fees that they charge. We would actually lose money to sell it at the normal retail amount. So, we're kind of playing with how to make that work. Unless we ship a lot to Amazon in their warehouse, then it qualifies for Amazon Prime. People can get it in 2 days, and the rates are, I think, a little better, and shipping is dealt with differently. So it's definitely been more challenging than we expected, but we know that we got to do it. We got to be on Amazon. But everything is available on Geek again. So fast forward to kind of current day. We just launched a new game. I don't have an example here yet because it's brand new, but Go Long is a football word association game. I can't really describe it. This was Tim's brainchild. I haven't even played it yet, but it was one of the contest submissions. This was for the Worker Placement Challenge on the Game Crafter. And so that was submitted for that and subsequently created and finalized and now purchasable. So that's pretty cool. I'm not into sports at all, but certainly a lot of people are.
Hey Jazz, you can get into that one since you're no longer ignoring us.
Not what? I'm not ignoring you.
Exactly.
I'm going along on the website here and looking at all the pictures. I'm impressed with them.
We have a lot of pictures. Actually, Go Long I don't think is even on the website yet. I did send out a newsletter with a link to it, but I'm gonna add that one to the website. And then, like I said, about 5 other contests. We've been in these little 18 card challenges. They're fun, meaning they're Button Shy is the brand. They put out this contest. I think they do it once a year, where you have to make a card in 18 or a game in 18 cards or less. No dice, no components, no counters, just 18 cards. And they have this whole line of games that they call their wallet games. And each one comes in this little vinyl wallet with a transparent inside to hold the cards in. And that's it, a little 4-page accordion rule book. So they have a brand, they have a style that they're trying to go for. And at first we were like, oh, this will be dirt simple. It'll be like a weekend project. And of course, nothing's ever as simple as it seems. In fact, making a game in 18 cards turned out to be harder than some of the larger games that we've created. Yet we were so jazzed about the idea, we ended up, between all of us, we submitted 3 different games into that contest. One of them made it into the next round of judging, which is happening as we speak. And the other 2 will be available regardless because they turned out to be really fun games. So those will go up on our website. One of them is called the Interdimensional Travel Agency, where of course you're a travel agent, and there's a bunch of people who want to tailor a reality to their choosing, to their likes and dislikes, and so you're competing with the other travel agents to send the most passengers through the interdimensional gateway to this alternate reality that they're trying to find for themselves, and we did that in 18 cards. And then the one that made it into the next round is called Kraken Skulls. It is a swirling whirlpool around a kraken, and everyone has basically a pirate ship that's constantly spiraling around this kraken, and you're essentially trying to be the last one standing, because at that point the kraken will have eaten enough ships and he'll be sated. His appetite will be full, and he will no longer want to eat you. And so it's just
like you do.
Furious. You're shooting the other ships to hopefully get them to sink towards the Kraken, and you're trying to ram them from behind to kind of push them down towards the Kraken. And so it's just completely brutal chaos like that. And I think they saw something here that we said the wallet itself will have artwork on it that looks like the Kraken, and we'll stand it up as like a V in the center of the table. And that's the Kraken. So I think they saw the innovation of using what we could as much as possible. So we had a video with where we did this with just paper, but kind of showed how that wallet would be in the center of the table, and then these boats are circling around it, and then your cards in your hand are the different action cards that you can play. And we even said, like, the back of the rule book we would lay out on the table, and it would essentially establish the lanes, because there's 3 or 4 lanes swirling around the Kraken. So you're either at the outmost lane, the furthest away from the Kraken, or you're all the way in, circling on the inner circle. And the rule book will kind of help gauge that positioning. And again, I think they saw that use of all their components to the best way possible.
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was been poking around the website, looking at all your different games, and I love how they each kind of had their own art style and feel. Like, who does the artwork? Do you just hire out people, or?
Yeah, artwork is probably the biggest source spot for us because we can't do it ourselves, so we have to.
Yeah.
And of course we'd want to with unlimited funds. We'd want to hire the best of the best. Mars versus Earth. We ran a Kickstarter campaign explicitly to raise money to pay a tremendous artist, Ben Foster, who did most of the artwork that's in the game. Love the style and love the way it came out, but I mean it cost a lot, and it's not something we don't have those funds available for all these games. So we're always looking at new ways, like trying to find. There's a lot of student groups who are they're looking for projects to work on, and we've found a lot of success working with different schools where they have a student group who wants to be part of a project. And so you get a bunch of different styles, and the quality, some of them might not be quite as high, but for the funds that we have, and to get the thing at least to a level where now we can run a Kickstarter and possibly raise even more money to get really pro art. That seems to be the only way that you can do it. You can't run a Kickstarter with the days of running a Kickstarter with a prototype are gone. You need to have.
Yeah, no, they want a finished product that is able to be shipped within like 3 to 4 months after. Remind me again. Also, we have some people who do our art for us. I can get you in touch with them as well.
I'd love that. Yeah, we're building the Rolodex. We've definitely.
Yeah, in fact, I'm gonna do this. He designed the shirt here for Dragon Con last year. It's a microphone.
It's a nice mic stand.
Nice.
Daryl does all of our because I can't go a show without announcing Daryl's name once. Daryl Shaler does all of our artwork on our site, does our logo and stuff like that, and I can get you in touch with them.
Sweet.
It's very shiny. He also does great ads, as you could hear.
Yeah, the Amazon ad.
Yeah, I love meeting. Love meeting more and more, and we're just building the Rolodex. And then another age-old problem, as I'm sure many of you have encountered, is the speed that artists do their work is not always up to the speed that they're hoping they can do the work. So finding great artists who are eager about the project, who are very communicative, and will meet pace, that's a rare find.
It is, and that's something I can always give Daryl is, especially if you're paying him money, he's very quick, gives you a lot of feedback, gives you all sorts of like prototypes and stuff like that for you to review and everything like that. And I'm not just saying that because he works for me, but like there's a reason why I asked him to work for us, because I enjoyed what he did when we just had him on for one of our previous shows.
Great. Yeah, I'd love to get his information.
All right. Any other games you want to talk about, or we're gonna go ahead and wrap this baby up?
No, we have one more that I can't say too much about it. It's a game that presently has been submitted to Hasbro for their big design contest, and it's killing me and a bunch of others online because they supposedly made their decisions by last Friday, but they never said when they would announce those decisions. So we're all sitting here, and it's like a week away already. And their blog doesn't have anything. There's no way to contact them. We're all like, "Arr." So that one is the latest one that I've really poured a lot of heart and soul into. And very excited about it. I will simply say that the Kraken Skulls I told you about, that 18-card game, is kind of like a tiny prelude to what this one is. And so, very excited. Hopefully that one makes it far, and no matter what, it's going to be a thing, just whether it's going to be a Hasbro thing or somebody else thing. So,
very
stay
cool.
tuned on that.
It will be a thing.
Yes.
All right. So let's go ahead and wrap up here, because it is late. So once again, Jason, why don't you tell just really quick, give us a shout out where we can find you at online.
Great. Yeah, I mean, geekfevergames.com is probably the most important link to keep in mind because everything's off of there. Our Facebook is facebook.com/geekfevergames. Our Twitter is /GeekFeverGames. We try to keep that very consistent. Email info@geekfevergames.com. Love to hear from anyone. Connect with anyone.
Absolutely, and thank you once again for coming on. I greatly appreciate it. Once you get a little bit more information on the upcoming games, send me a shout, and we'll have you back on so you can do some more pimping. And plus, we just want to hang out and talk. We're love having you on. It was fantastic.
Great, both, yes.
Good times.
Absolutely.
Thanks for staying up late with us.
Yeah, right. It's great that we get a guest that kind of just leads the conversation where we're not just asking, because we're really bad interviewers. So it's great that we have a guest just like, yeah, you asked me one question, I'm going to give you all of the information.
I never know if I'm overstepping because I've only done a few of these podcasts, and sometimes I'm like, do they want me to do that? Because I can phone up.
Just talk all you want.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a reason why I said this is all about you. This is all about your company. I wanted you to just let all the information out. Because, like I said, we're really bad at this. So, the more information you give us without us kind of going, what should we ask next, is better.
All right, good to know. I sometimes think I talk too much. Well, one thing I forgot to mention is Mars vs. Earth. We just announced a $5 price drop, so it is now $34.99 retail. And that's again available today online, purchasable through our website, also through Amazon. But that one's I think $37.99. We still have to bump it up a little bit. But if you go through our website, you can get it for $34 as long as you don't mind signing up on a different site to purchase.
Do it. All right. You can listen to the show here. We are live Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, and Friday at 12 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, or 1 p.m. Daylight Time, I think it is now. Dale didn't tell me if he actually does Daylight Savings Time over there or not. But you can get us over at geek-io.net/live, twitch.tv/geekio show, tunein.alphageekradio.com. We are on Channel 1. And DiamondClub.tv. We are simulcasted all the time over on AlphaGeekRadio.com. You can go over there to on any device pretty much in the entire world and get all of our backlog. You'll occasionally just have us streaming on. It's a fantastic way to get in touch of this show. You can contact us at twitter.com, facebook.com, both/GeekIO show. You can give us a call on our Geek hotline, 727-489-4335. That is 727-489 Geek.
How does daylight savings time work in Australia? Is that a thing there? I don't think that's a thing.
I don't know. It might also be reversed because that's how the toilets flush. So daylight savings time is shit. So I can only assume it goes opposite.
They have night savings time? I don't know.
Evening savings? It's just an extra hour where gimpy plants can crawl into your room and shoot giant spiders at you.
Their spiders are attacking the daylight as well. So
there you go.
All spiders will blot out the sun.
Yeah, they will. Oh, but you can come in next week on the Geek IO show. The Mana Pool is back. And there will be 2 new contenders entering the ring, or 2 new members joining the party, however we want to.
Yeah, after the somber release of last episode, I'm going to say F that mess. I'm rewriting a bit of the Mana Pool. Mana Pool's going to run a little bit differently starting next week. For those who don't know, Mana Pool is our Dungeons & Dragons live play podcast. It's going to run quite a bit differently. I've been speaking with a few people on how to run it a little bit better, run it a little bit more efficiently, and also add something that was drastically missing in there, which is humor. And now that I no longer have to hold a Dragonborn's hand into Dancing with a Princess, I can actually put some humor into our events.
No. That hurts, man.
Dude, I poke Bloodlong for good reasons for leaving the show. You don't have a good reason for leaving the show, you are full game. Alright, so it's time for the Summer Movie Smackdown update. Ding, ding, ding. Now it's time for... Alright, current rankings are Raul in first place with $12.1 million. Mara in second place with $7.5 million. Dale in third place with $4.7 million. Jazz in fourth place with $4.6 million. And Rachel pulling up the rear with $2.2 million. with Angry Birds, quite frankly, overperforming. Um,
Surprisingly, yes.
Surprisingly overperforming. X-Men Apocalypse kind of underperforming.
Eh,
I expected that to be at least 100 million opening, but nope.
yeah, me too.
Alice in Looking Glass pretty much performing exactly where I thought it was. Nice Guys also performing exactly where I thought it would be. Yeah.
So Dale's chipping away. Chipping away.
Yeah, Dale, if he keeps pinging at $3 million a movie, I mean that's not a bad way to, since he has 3 movies or like 7 movies. Yeah, he has like 30 movies. So like if all of those make $3 million a piece, that's Raul, you don't have a chance.
Officially, Dale has 9, but he has $11 for a wild card, so he could have 10.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, okay, that pop star never stopped stopping.
Never stop popping, stop.
Never stopping.
I don't know. I think Dale has the biggest chance on getting the sleeper hit.
Oh yeah. He's got.
I mean, being up by Lonely Island. Lonely Island's very popular, so I mean, Popstar coming out. I mean, that's, like I said, he's raking about $3 million per movie, and that's 27 million just in his regular movies if we stick with the average.
Yeah.
That's not including if any of them take off.
Which could definitely happen.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Ghostbusters.
Who knows?
Yeah,
the hate around it is so intense.
Yeah, well, controversy is news. I mean, news is still news.
That's true. It doesn't look that bad to me.
No, it doesn't look that bad. I think it's just people being stupid. That's all. Hey, Jazz, what do we got going on the site?
Oh, I'm Sam, all distracted by our sweet, beautiful movie SmackDown website. But if you want to go to a different website, you can go to geek-io.net, check out what's going on there. How It Stacks has posted their Live from Mobicon show.
All of the moon pies, and that's how she said. That's what she said.
With lots and lots of moon pies, dum-dums, and pixie sticks. Because they did another live How It Snacks, because it just works out when you have a live audience to give them candy and stuff.
Give them all candy, then kick them out of your room. It's like a bunch of children. You just have a bunch of children in your room. Here, everybody, have sugar. Now leave us alone.
Now go. And then Life of an Accounting Droid put up another very eccentric episode where he spoiled Game of Thrones and Preacher. He took a trip on Android. He got some Google Play integration and wrapped it all up with the external economies of scale. External economies of scale.
This show is still very, very intriguing. I love you, dude, but man, I thought we shoved a lot of stuff into this show. It's fascinating, though. Neil has a very interesting view on everything and a very interesting way of telling a story and telling, making accounting. I'm not going to say interesting because it's not interesting to me. But he's an accounting nerd. I mean, you and I, Jazz, we talk databases and programming, which is incredibly boring to people who aren't into it. I'm not into accounting.
I bore myself
It's not for me. Yeah, exactly. I put myself to sleep on Capital Tech, like.
Oh, jeez. Now we're going into subqueries again. Oh, here we go.
Yep. Frickin' subqueries. All right. You can support the network over at patreon.com/geekio. Over there, you get all sorts of stuff where you can support the network within $1, just getting kind of a shout out on a thank you page that I can put up as soon as we start getting people in. $5 get you a small shout out. $10 get you full whatever you want read. You picked a playlist at $3 where you tell us what songs you want us to play. If you want me to play that metal version of Wheels on the Bus, I can play that as much as you pay me, $3 a month to play it. That goes towards the entire network, and a little bit goes a long, 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 long way.
Oh, if you want to listen to the show, you can go check out geek-io.net/Stitcher and geek-io.net/iTunes and leave us an honest review, and we'll gladly read it on the show for you.
When we remember to check them, which I don't do regularly. I apologize.
Let me get on that.
Probably should. Nothing new on Stitcher. Because we get like 3 people who listen to us on Stitcher, but hey, it's free and it just kind of stays up there.
It works.
Not gonna lie, Stitcher is just kind of there because I forget to take it down sometimes. All right, so on that note, folks, we are gonna go ahead and head up on out of here. We will be right back here next week with the Mana Pool. Oh yeah, show title candidates for episode number 155. It went super limp. Our own personal Tony Stark, the biggest horror of the Facebook group. I love a human villain. Is she a Spike or a Timmy? Slow motion nut jab. The wheels on the bus are so metal. Eat, sleep, breathe, game design. Hail Mars. Chronological is easiest for my brain, and the Hasbro waiting game. Any of those that you would like to hear as the what you want to have attached to your name for eternity, Jason?
Eternity. Oh God.
Slow motion nut jab, definitely.
Let's not use the word for. Let's strike that one.
All right.
Game design encompasses it all.
Yeah, eat, sleep, breathe, game design.
There you go.
All right, folks. On that note, we will see you right here next week with Mana Pool. Basically, season 2 starting up with the Mana Pool. I think you'll like it. See you next week. Bye now.
Bye bye.
Laters. Bye bye.
There it is. This has been a podcast of the Geek.io Media Network, where you put your geek in and geek out. For more geeky goodness, head over to geek-io.net. Copyright 2016.
Okay, let me stop